right, hey everyone. Welcome to the Chiliz Show, episode 2. More technically episode 1, because you'll never see the real episode 1. We have it in a dark, dirty dumpster somewhere.
1.2.
We were practicing. welcome to the Chiliz Show version 1.2. I'm Max Rabinovich, the Chief Strategy Officer at Socios.com in Chiliz, and I'm joined here with Joe Grech. He's going to introduce himself.
What's up, guys? My name's Joe Grech. I'm the crypto marketing manager at Chiliz, manage all the community stuff, the resident kind of crypto nerd, as you can kind of see here with my little pigeon friend. Yeah. And I'm also joined by Serena, my amazing colleague.
Hey guys, it's going to be hard to follow Joe. I'm really glad to be here. This is Serena, social media specialist for Socios. So let's go.
Okay, great.
Yeah, let's crack on. First,
Joe, by the way, you cut me off completely when I was trying to introduce Serena.
Yeah, that was rude, Joe.
Oh.
I was going to say your name and then Serena's name, and then I was going to let you guys take it from there.
Oh.
Instead, you decided to turn into the Joe.
Okay,
I
thought we were both co-hosts. I didn't know there was a host, so.
Yeah, well, co-hosts, they should have a more intuitive way of knowing,
Yeah,
knowing
okay.
when the other person's
Noted for
Thank
next
you.
time. Okay,
Thank you.
noted.
Thank
yeah.
you. Now, with that out of the way, let's get down to the actual show. The way it's formatted is very simple. We're going to have our first segment, which is just going to be the Chiliz and Socios.com wrap-up news from the last few weeks. There's a lot of it.
Yes.
Some would say a metric, blank ton
I
of
agree.
news. So that's probably going to be the biggest segment of the whole show.
Yep.
And then we're going to do a quick Socios.com and Chiliz Q&A. You guys are going to ask me and each other and
Really
ourselves
excited about that.
sometimes.
Yes, we got lots of questions.
Yeah, questions
For once.
that hopefully you guys, the Chilizens, want answers to. And then, as always, we'll finish it off with a segment we like to call The Future. Where we just, wax poetic on what we think is the future of the crypto industry. But we got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So let's start with Chiliz and Socios catch-up news.
Yeah.
You
Sure. Yeah.
want to open it up?
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's. I guess we should start up by mentioning the FTO season, which has just come to an end. We had 6 different fan token offerings for the teams of. One moment, please. We had Team Alliance, IBFK, Team NAVI, Young Boys, Novara,
STVV.
Novara Calcio.
and STVV, and that's. I think that's all of them. Most of them only happened on the Socios.com application. Only 2 of the teams were sold. The fan tokens were sold on the Chiliz exchange, which was the 2 esports teams, Alliance and NAVI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should we just kind of break down how the sales went? Just do a quick, rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it gets into a lot of stuff, too. Axel, if you can pull up the fan market cap data for us so we have something to look at while we're talking, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. If you want to pull up the fan market cap and click at the tab of fan tokens on the top, there's like a little button.
So the one thing I will start out with saying is that this batch of 6 fan token offerings that we've had. Richard, by the way, the TV's it's off and on. Okay, just so you know. The one thing I will say about these 6 fan token offerings is that they came at a really weird time for us.
Yeah.
As a company, almost where we were in a spot with our users and all of our user Chiliz that they wanted to put in various spots. We ran into an embarrassment of riches, which we were very worried would somewhat reflect on the FTOs. I think it definitely did have an effect. We'll kind of go into it a little later on. But essentially what I mean, and for you guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is that we've had such traction in our locker rooms, which we'll talk about afterwards, and also with all this amazing Binance news, which we'll also talk about afterwards. Don't worry, We're not going to ignore it. That it almost got into a situation where we were worried that people were so excited about the other things we announced at the same exact time that nobody would buy these new fan tokens. Luckily, we were proven wrong.
Yeah.
But we saw some interesting dynamics I'm happy to expound on more. But first, let's kind of just go over the broad figures for all 6 partners. Let's cut through them.
Let's just break down the numbers. So for Navi, we had around, I guess, 200,000 tokens sold. I don't know the quite exact number because it didn't sell out on Chiliz exchange, so it's some weird numbering here. IBFK sold 105,000 tokens. STVV sold 34,000 tokens. Alliance 136,000, which sold out on Chiliz exchange in around 20 seconds, which was very impressive. Obviously, I'm the esports fan here, so I get all excited about that. Young Boys sold 33,000. 8,000. Novara, the last one which concluded the FTO season, sold 10,000, which I think is pretty strong numbers.
It's interesting because the one thing that was different on a structural level for these fan token offerings, actually two things. One, we decided to focus on the app only instead of creating pretty equal amounts for app and Chiliz.net buying, which creates a very different dynamic because historically on Chiliz.net, we offer larger volume purchasing, whereas on the app, we like to really, really tighten down the fan purchasing caps because we want to make sure that every retail fan who may not be a crypto enthusiast has enough time to buy. The second thing we did is that we made these sales long, so they're not actually flash sales. We have these numbers that you read. Those are actually the first, in some cases, like in the case of STVV, week one numbers, and in the case of Novara Calcio, essentially 1 day of sales. And we're going to be opening those sales up for 2 weeks, which it's yet to be known if it's going to have an effect or not.
And also, I think one thing that we did well was we took some community feedback from the crypto side of the kind of audience, and we increased the caps as the kind of sales went on, like before the sales started, to try and allow more accumulation for the crypto community. Yeah,
true. And at the same time, we actually experiment a little bit with NAVI, because NAVI actually, from Monday onwards next week for a week, it'll be fully uncapped sales, but only on the app.
Wow. Okay, that's exciting.
So we feel like, well, if you give fans enough bandwidth to buy, and we've seen actually that there's an appetite for kind of larger purchases of the team. That's going to happen next week.
That's cool
as well.
That's exciting. Actually, I didn't know that. So that's cool. Did you know that?
No,
wow.
Didn't know.
No.
Cool.
That's
we should do this show more often.
Well, hopefully once a week if you guys like it. If we get over 1K views on this one, hopefully Alex will let us out of the dungeon and say you can do the show once a week.
Is that the benchmark? We're setting 1K views?
Yeah, Serena.
Serena,
what do you want me to send the benchmark at 1 million views? We want to do episode 2. You're lucky I didn't say one viewer is the benchmark. If one person watches this show, we'll keep doing it.
I'm pretty confident we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
there's 80 people from the company, and then hopefully 900 more.
I mean, I watched the kind of pilot episode that didn't air twice. I don't know if that's because of narcissism or just confidence building.
I would venture it's narcissism.
I don't know. I think it's kind of self-improvement and confidence building, because of last time I was a bit more stiff and now I'm more fluid. So I'm here to speak and talk.
Listen, the last thing I'll say about these FCOs is we were obviously worried that we wouldn't sell much at all because we thought everyone is super hyped up about, like I said, locker rooms and Binance. I think considering the fact that, between these teams, we ended up selling between 33 and 75% of their entire FTO supply, and it's still available to sell, and these tokens are going to be released when they're released in January, in some cases earlier for specific partners, into, I would say, the most healthy ecosystem for fan tokens and Chiliz we've ever had in terms of just traction and interest and liquidity. I think it bodes really well. And on that note, we might as well move on, because everything we're saying right now kind of feeds into, well, why is it?
Yeah.
Hey, Max, don't be a dick. Why is it? What do you mean? It's such a great ecosystem. Well, calm down, buddy. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to start with a little segment. I'm not going to call it. I call it Talking Nance on our notes. We're just going to discuss the impact of our big Binance announcement, and I'll let Joe kind of run.
Can I just say first?
No, tell me. Go ahead.
That we're going to be celebrating that Bitcoin has hit $23,000. Because I kind of feel like I wanted to say that in the beginning.
Sorry.
So now we're saying it. Bitcoin has hit 23K, new all-time high. Absolutely crazy bullish sentiment all around the crypto market right now. Lots of kind of weird euphoria-generated fear as well. It's is it too late to enter? Oh my God, is it going to crash now?
In fairness, I didn't want to open the show like that, because it's kind of we don't if we open the show with Bitcoin hitting 23K, it's almost like we're pretending we have the scoop, when it's the biggest story, arguably, in the history of cryptocurrency.
You just got to show some love for that orange-green coin.
I had to change my notes, because in my notes I wrote BTC 20K moon party.
Yeah.
Old news.
Oh, wow. Look, we got the Bitcoin price here. Yeah,
it looks like the foothills of the Himalayas.
Does it? I've never been.
It's the world's tallest mountain range, so you tell me what that means. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about the Binance partnership. Joe, I'll let you kind of introduce it. What happened?
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about it.
So, a couple of days ago, we announced that we have a new strategic partnership and some investment from Binance, which is, absolutely massive news. If you know the crypto space, you know that Binance are the world's leading cryptocurrency exchange. They have millions of active users, you do huge volume every 24 hours, absolutely insane. This new partnership basically means that we're going to be seeing some fan tokens in the likes of PSG and Juventus in the Binance launch pool. Binance launch pool, do you know what that is, anyone? You guys know what it is?
Yeah.
Serena, you know what it is?
No, tell me.
Then let me educate you. So the Binance launch pools...
Oh, okay, cool. Because I said I knew. No, go ahead, Joe. Hey, Joe, what's the Binance launch pool? Is it like a pool where you swim?
No. So you can actually choose one of three currencies, which is either BNB, BUSD, which is the Binance stablecoin, or the Chiliz token to stake, which means to effectively lock up these tokens to farm a new token. So you hold these tokens in a locked kind of vault, and over time, depending on how much is staked, how many people have staked, you receive rewards over time. So that means that users can farm Juventus and PSG tokens, which I think is absolutely amazing. It's really cool to have kind of now like the big brands that we have that we're working with, like PSG and Juventus, on the world's leading crypto exchange. I hope that that's going to get lots of people in the industry excited, because I had loads of people messaging me like, great job guys, like this is huge, like super cool. So it's been like a week of euphoria in many ways, that's for sure.
Yeah, you've seen some staggering numbers.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, the launch pool stuff, I'll happily get into them. So
yeah.
Just for Juventus, the Juventus launch pool right now has locked up 461.9 million, a little more, Chiliz, and
That's a lot of Chiliz.
it's a lot of Chiliz. It's near 10% to the entire global circulating supply of Chiliz is now in just the Juventus launch pool.
As a Juve fan, I feel proud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually
And
beat PSG.
It would make you proud to know that we. Part of that launch pool is that we've given away already over 42,000 Juventus fan tokens to these farmers. I personally don't like the term farming. I think it's silly, but sure.
What about yield? Do you like the yield?
Yeah, but at the same time, what are you going to call them, yielders? That sounds very passive. Nobody wants to yield. It sounds like you're losing. And if you go over to the PSG launch pool, 437.6, a little over million Chiliz in that launch pool. Together... Mm-hmm. In that launch pool, you're looking at near 20% of the entire Chiliz circulating supply in the entire world is just being locked up to farm, yield, get rewarded these fan tokens. And we've given away almost 36,000 PSGs. Well, Binance and us.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, we have to do it together because the tokens are ours and the platform is theirs. But
Yeah, I kind of did miss out a key piece of information initially there. This isn't just us having the launch pools and being listed on Binance. This is actually the fan tokens for the first time, kind of leaving our somewhat closed ecosystem that we have. So migrating fan tokens over to the Binance Smart Chain.
Why don't you hold up there, Joe? This is not the first time they've ever left our ecosystem. The first token that ever left our ecosystem was the Galatsaray fan token, which was listed on the Paribu exchange.
Still on the Chiliz chain, though, which you could argue is still our ecosystem.
Yes, you're talking. Yes, okay, all right.
Yes, so it's
Point,
extremely exciting because it means that users are going to be able to have, a custodial approach to holding their tokens. So you can download, for example, there's Trust Wallet, which will support Binance Smart Chain. They have their own Binance Chain wallet on Google extensions, which is, it's really cool.
You know what? That's a good point that you said that.
Thank you.
Because I'm going to shamelessly just make a disclaimer for everyone listening here that has fan tokens on the Socios.com app that's thinking about moving them to Binance, specifically Juventus and PSG, which are going to be available there. You cannot actually do direct transfer right now, wallet to wallet from the app into Binance. You have to first move your fan tokens onto a Chiliz.net exchange account, and then only from there move them.
That is correct.
I can't stress this enough. I've been having nightmares that once this news comes out, there's a lot of FOMO. We have a lot of users that specifically for PSG and Juventus have large amounts of tokens that they've been hodling for like near a year.
Yeah.
That maybe they want to make a move, and if they do this direct transfer, guess what? Their amount of fan tokens they own drops to a very disconcerting 0 fan token.
Yeah, that's very true. And to add to that, it's actually interesting because we're both using the kind of similar technology. It's a fork of Ethereum, a sidechain, if you want to call it that. So the address format is exactly the same. So it's this 0x blah 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 123x 58g whatever. So you're going to see the same kind of address format, which could be confusing to some users. Now, I do have a solution, and that's called a guide. I've been working on a guide. And some kind of infographics, which we should, by the time this is live, it should be live on the Chiliz blog, medium.com/Chiliz. So please do not lose your fan tokens, please. Yeah.
Okay, great. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest.
Yeah, no, great. I'm glad you did, because I completely forgot about mentioning that, so really good point.
Yeah, great. Serena,
Max?
you have anything to say about your being, let's say, a resident Juventus fan? Do you have any I'm a Juventus fan, what's my take on all this? Do I care?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert at crypto yet, but I'm always interested in learning more. So with you guys, this is a really nice chance for me. And like I said earlier, I'm very, very proud of Juve, like how the fan token is going on Binance, and even on the app, it's been one of the most, like the price has been one of the highest for the whole year. Mm-hmm. It's the first fan token we've ever launched, so it's a big milestone for us. Yeah. And personally for me, it's even better. So yeah, really proud.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing what the future hodls.
Yeah, that's a good
nice.
one.
There we go. Wow, what an insider.
And you saying you know nothing about crypto, you're already picking up the lingo.
Aw, thanks to you guys.
Anyways, that's our, I would say, biggest piece of news.
Yeah.
Before we head on to locker rooms, which I'm gonna have a blast talking about. Just quick little news disclaimer as well. Trabzonspor is now listed on Paribu within I think 10 or 20 minutes of them being listed on the exchange. They were paired directly against the Turkish lira.
Yep.
Over $1 million in trading liquidity.
Yep, and I actually have another number here. 24 hours, 1.8 million tokens were transferred. And I believe that the Turkish lira price was probably around $1.4 or something. So you times, you take that number, 1.8 million, times it by 1.5. I don't know how much the price is exactly. That's quite a lot of trading volume. It's actually pretty impressive. So pretty excited about those results, and hopefully seeing some more token holders deposit their fan tokens to Socios to unlock the full potential.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's just news. There's not really much to say about it.
No.
They're just cool numbers. We're excited about that.
Yeah, we love numbers.
But speaking of the listing of the Trabzonspor fan token on Paribu, we're actually going to celebrate it with the club soon. So stay tuned, because there's going to be like a special surprise.
Okay.
Okay.
Just so you know, Serena,
I can't even tell you guys about it. So.
Since this is the first time you're doing this type of show with me and Joe, if you see something, might be unrelated, but if you see, let's say, Alex Dreyfus tweet something, seems suspect, seems like maybe it should still be confidential. It's not something that we on the Chiliz Show like to discuss, because we have a much more strict confidentiality policy.
I mean, it's not anything crypto related, so that's why I took the liberty of mentioning it.
Okay, so confirm no spoilers.
It's no spoilers.
Okay,
no crypto
but
spoilers.
Alex didn't tweet about it, so it can't be a spoiler.
It can't be
exactly.
That's the barometer.
In fact, we tweeted about it.
Okay, good. Okay, if we tweeted about it, then it's fine. Yeah. I just want to keep you safe.
No, I appreciate it.
All right, Joe, not so
much. We're
much.
in a safe zone.
Yeah,
I would say I almost actively root for Joe to screw up on this show.
It's true.
I
can see it.
Makes me look good.
Yep. That's why I'm here. That's why you chose me.
Yeah. Anyways,
co-host with the most hosts.
I did. We have a lot of let's say people with a great resume to do the show, and they're at the office because we needed the worst guy possible.
Yeah.
It's not Joe. Joe's great. That was a joke. Joe's great. Let's get on to locker rooms now.
Or was it a joke?
Locker rooms roundup.
Yeah. Can we pull up fan market cap? I hate saying it on stream, but on the video, pull up fan market cap and click on the locker rooms button, please, Richard. Okay, so if you have a look here on your screen, you can see the percentages. Right now we have Galacticos, which is LockTG, with 66.32%. Which is 530,000 tokens sold.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for the. There we go.
Yeah.
So, the locker rooms. first of all, let's give everyone a broad rundown. Because maybe people don't know what they are. Locker rooms for us is a feature that we created, which essentially is a way for fans in, like, let's say, a cheeky, gamified way to, using their Chiliz, signal their desire or demand for an unnamed team. Obviously, the three locker rooms that we have are the Galacticos, the Milan Devils, and Blue Manchester. Which teams do those locker rooms refer to? I don't know.
Me neither.
Legally speaking, I have no clue. They could refer to any teams within those regions.
Are they even teams?
Manchester has multiple teams. Milan is one of the centers of commerce of Italy. It has multiple teams. The Galacticos sounds like a spaceship from a Marvel film.
It's true.
I don't even think that's a team. Anyways, with that out of the way, it's a way for fans to buy at a preset price.
Yep.
We call them locker room tokens, which is an asset that you can't do anything with. You can't trade. We're not going to put them on the marketplace or anything. But what does happen is that we sell each one at 200 Chiliz a pop. And if I say go to the Galacticos locker room, and I think, okay, I think I see what's going on here. I'm a clever person. I buy 10 locker room tokens for 2,000 Chiliz. If the locker room ends, because all these locker rooms function on a 4-month window, all of them are set to end in February of next year.
Yep.
And essentially puts us, Socios.com, on a deadline. We need to sign whatever team wants that locker room that's eligible for it. And if that team signs, then all the all the locker room tokens that I've bought will be converted into that team's fan tokens.
Yep.
So it's like our way of almost bypassing an FTO, because these teams won't have an FTO. They'll just go straight to marketplace listing.
Mm-hmm.
And not only do I get the tokens, so if I bought 10 locker room tokens for 2,000 Chiliz, I'll get 10 of the team's fan tokens, priced at 200 Chiliz a pop for when they go on the marketplace. But I'll also get essentially a locker room reward. You can call it yield, farming, blah, 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 a million different buzzwordy terms. But all it means is that I will get a 10% Chiliz cash bonus for participating. So if I put in 2,000 Chiliz, I'll get 200 Chiliz as an airdrop into my Socios.com account, in addition to the 10 fan tokens, which then, hey, look at me. I'm Mr. First Guy that has these fan tokens for unnamed team.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the
sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, that's the primer on how they work. Let's go back to how they're doing, because they're doing. I know this almost sounds silly, but better than I expected. We didn't know if this was going to be a throwaway feature or something experimental, and it's become one of the things people are excited about most on the app.
Yeah, that is very true. The Chiliz community talking about locker rooms almost every day, thanks to platforms, external platforms that track these kind of statistics as well. There's lots of buzz about that on social media. As you can see, 106 million Chiliz locked up in just the TG locker room, which is, if you think about it, 10% of that is already 10 million Chiliz bonus, which is going to be going to distributed to the users.
I mean, in a best case scenario, if all these locker rooms convert and no one puts a penny into either, and remember, they're open until February, so there's more than enough time for if we decide to release news with any teams that might be really, really interested and willing to kind of go, quote unquote, public. Even if we don't sell a single other locker room token, we're already going to give away over 21 million Chiliz if the three teams all convert. And besides that, just when you look at the number, 212 million Chiliz, we're talking about like it's over 3%. 3.5% of the entire Chiliz circulation globally, like I said,
it's true.
All locked up as well. And I think it's actually kind of crazy, because if you kind of do some gymnastics and you add this 212 million Chiliz that's locked up with the over 800 million Chiliz that's locked up in the Binance launch pool, you're looking at over 1 billion Chiliz that are locked up waiting for stuff.
I have the number from this morning. It's 1.1 billion Chiliz locked up, which is really a huge number if you think about it.
Yeah, it's over 1,000 million. Sorry, Joe. I think it's just it's a ridiculous thing to say 1 billion is a large number. Everyone knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess moving on to Milan Devils. 281,000 tokens of those have been sold. 56 million Chiliz locked up. Then a bit the kind of slacker in the locker. Well, I mean slacker. I mean it's slowly becoming a non-favorite. Obviously, the favorites are becoming on social media and Telegram, TG and MD. So,
well, I think it's also very fickle when you say a non-favorite, because it's a lot of this kind of hype is, it's a hype train for a reason. It's very self-fulfilling.
Yeah.
So, you could say, sure, it has the least amount of traction. They're all obviously very close, as you can tell. But also, if we get news from any one of these teams, which we're kind of waiting to see if any of them are interested.
Mm-hmm. Just look at Alex's Twitter.
Yeah, I think that'll again. This is one of those situations where Alex's Twitter is not the barometer for how we do the news on this show. All right, as far as I'm concerned, none of these locker rooms are confirmed. In the business world, the confirmation comes with a legally binding contract.
Yeah.
So no locker rooms are confirmed, but can we say the outlook is positive? We can say the outlook is positive.
Can we say it's very positive?
We can say it's decently positive. And I do believe, whether it becomes the case or not, that if we do announce that, hey, a team is interested in a locker room, I think that obviously goes without saying that people are going to be much more interested in participating as well.
Yes, yeah.
So,
and maybe in the future we'll open more locker rooms.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the amount of traction that we've seen with these locker rooms, which essentially, even on a technical level and on a marketing level, was a very simple thing for us to do. I want to polish the feature in the app in the coming months in 2021, so that not only is it a locker room, but you also create different tiered bonuses for early versus mid versus late adoption. That's cool. Things like that.
Yeah.
Create maybe even a farming experience that's more akin to what Launchpool does, meaning you get kind of rolling rewards, not just something at the very end or you don't get it, so it feels more dynamic. Mm-hmm. But like you said, also, turn this into a real ongoing feature where we identify regions and leagues where we're really interested in expanding and use the locker rooms as, let's say, a proof of fan demand.
Yeah, I agree.
For the clubs that are operating in those regions.
Yeah. So if you want to get involved in the locker rooms, you have 45 days from when this video goes live, hopefully. So please do download the Socios app and get involved in the locker rooms if that's interesting to you.
Great. Serena, anything on the locker rooms?
There you go. Not really, to be honest, from the Socios side.
Do they excite
I think
you?
Of course.
Just seeing the numbers go up?
No, in fact, I have one for each.
Okay, one for each.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm doing my small part.
Thank you, Serena.
Do you have any locker room tokens, Max?
I do. I don't want to say which ones.
How come? What do you have to hide, Max?
Do you have the right ones?
I hope it doesn't matter which locker room it is, because all three of them are the right one. But I definitely do, because I don't, it's... When we made up the idea of locker room tokens, it's not like I was thinking, oh, this would be a great idea for someone else. I would hate this, but other people might like it. No, I tend to think of ideas that I like. That's my starting point. And then go from there.
Yeah.
I think that's really the secret to creating a good feature. Otherwise, you're kind of, up a creek without a paddle a little bit, Joe. All right, so I think that's enough for news. I don't want to get bogged down too much. To be honest, I think you and I could probably spend another hour joking and talking about the nuances of all this stuff. I don't know how interesting that would be to the audience. So let's just move on to actually another segment I'm super excited about, this amalgamated Socios Chiliz Q&A, because I know this is kind of Serena's time to shine.
Yeah.
She's been able
social media specialist.
She's been able to get a lot of great questions. I asked her on purpose not to spoil me on any, so I'm sorry ahead of time if I'm stuttering and I don't know the
I
answer.
can feel the pressure, guys.
Yeah. No pressure.
Well, you have have the easy job. You have to ask the questions. You sound like you're Mrs. Know-It-All. You're like Alex Trebek.
Aren't I?
Yeah, you're like Alex Trebek in Jeopardy. Rest his soul.
Rest his soul.
Yeah.
So let's pull up the tweets. Let's go straight into one of my favorite ones, probably from @SylviaAVG_. And this is for Max. How did the idea of creating Socios start? So Sylvia, you're in luck actually, because the creator of Socios is right here to answer your question.
Wow, that's very aggrandizing. It took the entire company to create Socios.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
But the initial idea was yours, right?
Yeah, having partial ideas on a scrap of paper is very different.
I was trying to hype you up, Max. Come on.
Okay, that's very nice. But I'm not.
Don't feed his ego. Come on.
I'm not one for hype. So, but it's very sweet of you to refer to me in that way. It's not quite accurate. The entire company created Socios. The idea started actually with nothing to do with football. The idea started it was a number of years ago, late 2017 actually, with essentially me going to Alex and having a conversation, because he was very interested in the crypto space and how you could leverage the crypto space for actual kind of fan engagement and engagement with sports and entertainment organizations, because it's something that we hadn't seen anyone do, and we thought we were in a fairly unique position to kind of see if we can do something about, because we were coming from very much an entertainment focused yet also tech focused background, having worked with digital gaming, online gaming, and also entertainment based streaming, TV production, online competition, things like that. So our original idea was actually to create a platform where you do in a similar sense with how Socios works now, but specifically with esports team. It would be a platform where esports fans could not only kind of buy these tokenized rights in their teams, but also even have a matchmaking engine for their fans, where we could create our own fan-driven tokenized leagues with various esports teams rosters. And part of that thinking was, I think we were kind of stuck in thinking way too small, because we thought, okay, esports is a great starting off point, especially for crypto, because their audience tends to be more digitally literate. They tend to be more into crypto already and understand how it works. They already have an innate understanding of how digital asset rarity works and just how a digital economy works. And we said, okay, we'll start here, and maybe in the future we'll make this wild jump into brick and mortar sports like football. And what ended up happening is that we once we had an idea that was fully set, we had I'd written out a white paper. Alex had found everyone to kind of help build the business vision around it. We did our ICO. We were ready to really begin. We were beginning development efforts. We went to a few football teams, just like essentially on a lark. We didn't think anyone would say yes at such an early stage, and said, hey guys, this is what we're working on. Are you interested? And really, luckily for us, people really believed in our vision, and they believed in our team and the tech that our tech team has been busy developing. And they said, I mean, this is obviously very, very simplified as to the actual journey, but they said, yes, let's do it. And actually, the first few teams that did that were PSG and Juventus. Juventus was our first ever partner. We launched with only Juventus fan token initially.
Only
and
1 year ago, by the way. We've come a long way.
It's true.
Well, we were working with them for almost a year before that as well. But these are the guys that kind of put their trust in us and said, listen, this vision makes sense. This seems like one good idea for the future of how you involve fandom on a global level to interact with these brands. Let's see what you can do. And obviously from that point on, we've grown and grown and grown. And now here we are.
Here we are. There you go. Thank you for your question, Silvia. It was awesome.
That's a really good answer, by the way.
Agreed.
Nice.
So at Ollie20 wants to know, will there be Korean esports team in the future? And at last, will it ever become a decentralized staking platform?
Wait, that's for Joe, right? Or is it for me? Sorry, because I didn't hear the question.
Whoever is that. Okay, I can do it again, no problem.
Okay. You can keep that in, Richard. Don't worry. That's me not listening.
You had your awesome story and now you just tuned out.
Yeah, I was right. It's been a fun 2 years.
Yeah. Okay, so Joe.
Yes.
Up to you. Will there be any Korean esports team, you think? And will it ever become a decentralized staking platform?
Well,
in your opinion?
I mean, we're in talks with lots of esports teams from all over the world. We have a dedicated team in Korea. We've got Brian Han and Dongwon Shin. And he is actually a professional StarCraft 2 player. And he's made, over 200,000 in his career from just playing StarCraft, which is pretty amazing. Whilst we cannot really comment on individual deals in individual regions, Korea is a pretty cool place. Very kind of...
No. We can easily say that we have our eye on Korea as a region.
Okay. We have our eye on Korea.
No, Joe, I wasn't correcting you, Joe. I was saying, oh yeah, of course we can say that.
Okay.
I was collaborating with you as a co-host, Joseph.
Okay, my bad. Yes, okay. Korea is a dope region. That's for sure. We're in talks with lots of different teams from all over the place.
As I will say, as far as decentralized staking goes, that's a question for another day. It's a little too early to get into those. Yeah. But I love the optimism of something so out of out of the blue.
We'll
being
bookmark
asked.
this and come back to it in a
Yeah,
few
but-
months, possibly.
Yeah,
few
years.
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 Bookmark
A
it.
few years. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess it's back to Max because Cryptologist has a question for you. We know that Turkey and Japan will be places of emphasis in the short term, but I'm curious, what kind of plans do you have for the US?
Oh, I get it. It's a question for me because I'm an American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a question that comes up every single time we do a Q&A.
It's true.
And I always
People want to know, Max.
Yeah, but I always have to start with the same disclaimer that Joe said. We cannot comment on any specific discussions or deals that we are working on, but obviously the United States is a region of interest for us, given that it is such a large market for sports and esports fandom, and also just entertainment organizations as a whole. I will say, and I said actually even when we did the practice show to make sure that we had what it takes to do this, we've already signed and announced our first full tokenized U.S.-facing partnership with the PFL, the Professional Fighters League. And for me, that represents, let's say, a big breakwater for the entire market of North America as a whole. Because I always said, you either go into a market with an idea, or you don't go into a marketplace at all. Like, you wouldn't go into India if you just had one team in mind and no idea how do you grow from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say we do have very well thought out plans that have been long in the making for the US, but you'll just have to wait and see what they are. All I will say is that I don't believe the PFL is a one-off when it comes to beginning to turn our focus towards the United States.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so another one from @CryptoVC5. What are you planning to do with SSU?
Maybe you can actually answer that one.
Can I? I mean, at the moment,
Actually, I don't know. I don't think
mean,
we can answer that one.
I know exactly what we're going to
Yeah.
do with SSU, but I know what we can't do with SSU is disclose what we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can we say that we just dropped 1.5 million SSU in token hunt, along with 1.5
We
million
can say.
Chiliz?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
But-
say. Right now,
That's good enough for now?
we're having a high-value token hunt with SSUs and Chiliz. I think it would make sense for, let's say, a clever user to assume that we're not giving SSUs away for nothing. And it's just a pointless currency that will never amount to anything other than letting people vote on Socios United polls on the app. We do have plans for SSU. We are a platform that above anything values, loyalty, utility, and engagement. People can guess what we're going to do, and we'll leave it at that. The specific plans, when you'll know, that's when you'll know.
And also,
There you
like,
go.
although it may not have like a dollar value, it will have some sort of value to each user. I would probably say.
And
I hope so.
Yeah.
as always, I would encourage our users and our followers to send us their ideas, because we're always open to ideas from our awesome community.
I'll tell you what. If you can tell me, and this is to the viewers, since apparently this question gets asked multiple times. If you tweet at Serena and you tell her, you guess, and your guess is exactly what we're doing with SSUs, like down to the button. It can't be just like a one sentence answer. Like, you'll have to, if you actually write a paragraph and say, here's what I think you guys are going to do with SSUs. And if you're exactly right, I'll have Serena DM you, and we'll say congratulations. Here's a voucher for $5 worth of Chiliz. if you tell anyone about this, we're gonna come after you.
I don't know. Like, to be honest, like when we kind of tease some stuff, Alfredo, our top SSU hunter, he had some kind of pretty close.
Shout out to
ideas.
Alfredo.
Yeah, shout out to you, Alfredo.
Yeah, but I'm not in the business of pretty close, Joe. I'm in the business of 100%.
Is it really
correct.
worth it for $5 worth of Chiliz?
Wow,
A
weird.
whole essay about
Weird.
SSU.
Yeah.
Almost like it's an offer that's stacked up to fail. Anyways, let's go. Next question. We
All
don't want to
right,
get
next
too...
question is from one of our community members, I believe, Mario Adelbrecht. Joe, you might recognize the name.
Yep.
What is the timeline for UFC? Will there be UFC tokens?
I'm sorry that I know you said that was an question for Joe. I can answer that, Joe.
Oh, I thought.
I just said that
I thought it
it's
was
a
a
name
question
that
for
Joe
Max.
might recognize. But
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. I can't disclose the timeline or ongoing talks with the UFC. So we'll see in the new year. What I can say is that we'll know in the new year.
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
that's good enough. So another question from Dreaming of ASR, obviously a Roma fan. If you could meet any player, Joe, who would he or she be?
That's a question to me. Who, if I could meet any
I mean,
player-
I would ask Max, but
I'm
I
not,
feel like the
Ooh.
question would be wasted. No,
If I could meet any player, yeah,
could be esports player, I guess.
esports player. Nah, not interesting. I guess Ronaldo. To be honest, like I think he's a pretty good-looking guy.
Is that why you would want to meet him?
I mean, have you seen like his muscles? Like, I mean, I'm interested in ladies, but he is a pretty good-looking guy, and he's really good at football. Actually, to be honest, like I'm a West Ham fan. Full disclosure, yes, I'm an idiot, but I actually do enjoy watching Juventus play from time to time, and I think that Ronaldo is great to watch. Really fun to watch.
I would agree.
You heard it here first, folks. Joe Greg's insider football analysis. Ronaldo, good football player.
Actually, Max, if we make it a bit broader, what athlete would you want to meet?
What athlete would I like to meet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd always want to meet Michael Jordan. I've been in the same casino as Michael Jordan before.
That's close
But
enough.
As a Chicago native, I think anyone would be lying if they said that's not the guy they want to meet the most. So
Was he at a higher stakes table than you?
yeah, Joe, he was. All right, next question.
Yeah.
How many of these questions do we have, by the way?
Just a couple more.
Okay,
Yep.
I mean,
perfect.
we have a lot, but I guess
No.
we can answer a couple
Let's
more.
just do 3-4 more, and
Yep.
then we'll be good.
All right. So I guess this one is either for Joe or Max, whoever is up for answering. From Cryptoberic, would you ever consider moving on Avalanche Network?
It's definitely a question for
Yeah,
Joe, I
yeah, that's definitely a question for me. Well, to be honest with you, we are chain agnostic, which means that we can kind of operate on any chain, basically any network that kind of supports the Ethereum standard of which is kind of the crypto standard, which is what everyone builds on. But right now we kind of use what works for us. Right now, what works for us is obviously Chiliz chain, and obviously through our partnership with Binance, the Binance Smart Chain. And just so you know, like we're not fully migrating, all of the supply over to Binance Chain. I think it's like 20% of PSG and Juventus, their supply.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we use what works best for us right now, and we're not completely opening up our ecosystem completely to be like mainnet or anything. I'm not saying there won't be mainnet. It's just not one of our priorities right now because of we have lots of stuff happening which requires much more attention. Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Good answer. Good answer.
Thank you.
Keep them going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Quick fire.
From @_Martina _. Ciao Martina. I know her. She's awesome. One of our first Roma followers. So.
Cool. Very cool.
Who's the funniest in your team or at work?
Who's the funniest person? Well,
I'm gonna ask that to both of you actually.
I think I'm gonna say Max actually, to be honest. Like I know we have like these
on.
weird patches, but like these weird patches are always kind of like not really weird patches. It's just us being like kind of funny to each other.
it feels like such a layup. Like I feel like you want me to now say, oh, obviously
No,
Joe.
you go ahead and say
No,
something like
listen,
Waylon or
No, to be
Emma.
honest, I think we're very lucky at our company because having worked at various, let's say, workplaces in my life, I would say we're way above average in terms of comedic talent, and not only comedic talent, but just how much people get to let their inner comedian fly without repercussion at the office.
I concur.
And the thing is, Chiliz is a big team. There's only a few faces that people see publicly. You guys tweet a lot. Alex tweets. Once in a blue moon, I'm on camera doing this stuff. But the majority of like some of the best, funniest, and hardest working people at the company are too busy to play with Twitter and live streams.
They hardly even talk on Slack.
Yeah, and they seem to be sometimes they're the funniest people. So I can't pinpoint one. I will say that personally, I have the most fun making jokes with or about our director of marketing, Gilbert Camilleri. I don't know if that means he's funny or I just have the most fun with him, but
Can you just like tell me? I'm in your top 5, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, you're definitely my top 5.
Good.
Or 10.
I'm gonna sleep better tonight.
You're a funny guy. Okay.
I can feel the love between you two.
Couple of more questions.
So a lot of people actually asked, what's the roadmap for 2021?
Oh, jeez. How do we answer that question? That's
Serena,
that's a very broad
that's
question.
Serena, that's the name for a special 2-hour-long episode. The Chiliz Show Roadmap 2021. There's no easy way to answer that. I'll try to answer that at a very high level, and I kind of want Joe's hot take on it if he wants to add anything else. In 2021, obviously we're gonna onboard more partners. I really want to focus on excuse me. I really want to focus on diversifying the types of sports and leagues and regions that we're putting onto the Socios.com app, but also, get a larger swath of the world's biggest teams, maybe even going outside of sports if we're lucky or interested, maybe touching music, maybe touching entertainment, maybe touching, events. If hopefully in 2021 things finally return back to normal and we can get past this little thing we call COVID.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, on a crypto level, obviously we're looking very forward not only to continuing work with Binance and making sure that's an ever-developing relationship, but also opening up our ecosystems further and further. We're hoping that we get other third-party exchanges to be interested in fan tokens. We're hoping that we get fan token utility growing more and more and more. We're hoping that we can get such a critical mass of, let's say, fan tokens as a digital pass and a voting license, as we've always said, that we're able to onboard scores and scores more of casual fans, because people stop seeing the Socios.com app as a crypto-first platform and start seeing it as a fan engagement platform that just happens to be powered by crypto.
That's nice.
Yeah, for me, that's my 2021. It's not a roadmap, guys. I know. I'm sorry. I don't think I'd even have this job much longer if I attempted to say the real roadmap, because that breaks all sorts of confidentiality agreements.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, Joe, what's your hot take on that? Anything I missed? Anything you want to pop in there?
Trying to find kind of cool ways to reward Chiliz holders a bit more. Do some more kind of promotions there, staking, that kind of stuff. Community activities, level up the game. Chiliz Alliance, we have basically a brand ambassador program where we invite kind of key members of our community to join us and be kind of these brand ambassadors, kind of like the Binance Angels, for example. We're kind of really looking to scale that up a lot over the next, even I can safely say now, over the next few weeks from now. So this is like a spoiler here, but it's not much of a spoiler. But in 2021, we'd like to keep growing the community in multiple different regions. Obviously, kind of right now we have Turkey leading the way, Japan. Like to level it up in a bit more regions. Yeah.
No, perfect.
From a Socios side, I would say that, to be honest, my dream for 2021 would be to keep doing like even cooler activities with the clubs, even cooler campaigns, which we are, to be honest, on the right track to do. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah. So I'm really looking forward to doing more campaigns and more polls, more exciting polls with the clubs.
Yes,
great. I'm actually glad you noted that, because just really quickly, I wanted to. Maybe it's a controversial note on the polls, but I think the one place, if I had to pinpoint stuff where maybe I haven't been that happy, is the content of some of the polls that we've been able to get out of clubs.
Definitely.
It's not necessarily their fault, because we're still a very new product, and maybe they're worried about leveraging their reputation to a certain degree and it not working out. But I really hope in the future, not just in 2021, but onwards as well, that the more clubs feel at ease with us and the more they trust us with bigger decisions and, let's say bigger engagement for their fans, they put out cooler stuff, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy where if the votes are cooler, the fans come because they actually see the value.
Exactly.
Whereas, if you start on the wrong foot and your votes are something that, not to be cynical, but a real fan doesn't need to care about. There's certain things that I don't care about voting on, even if it is, quote unquote exclusive. That I hope that's a point that will really continue changing.
I completely agree with you. I think it's safe to say that we've had some very strong polls and some weaker polls. Yeah. And on that note, what's been your favorite poll of the year, actually, guys?
Oh, wow. Since I guess this is the first show is the Christmas show. So
yeah,
we're doing a retrospective.
So it's all end of year recap.
You want me to go first? Go first, Joe.
No, you go
I
first.
keep answering the questions first. You go first.
Should I go first? Because I have my idea.
Fine.
You go first. And like go really slowly for like 5 minutes or so.
All right. I'm biased probably, but my favorite campaign and my favorite poll we've done this year was with Juve, Your Icon. I think it was fantastic. Where fans.
That's my one too. Damn it! I really like that one.
It was a fantastic campaign where fans picked the design for a limited edition piece of merchandise that was sold on the official Juventus store.
And it ended up in PES, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of why I liked it the most, because it ended up in Pro Evolution Soccer.
And it was nice, actually, because the flow of the campaign started from the club and then it ended on our platform, which I think was the coolest part.
It's a hybrid because they found a way to engage their social media and then put the last mile into socios.com, which is like, that's a cool
Which is what actually I would want to do more in the future of, because it makes more sense to have the club actively involved rather than just us. Involving the fans, because ultimately it's their polls and it's their fans.
Yeah.
So there you go. There you go, the video.
Okay, we'll watch that really quickly. I was wondering what was happening on the TV. Yeah. No, it's really cool. I don't know if we can
one
play
of my favorite videos we've done.
We can play the whole video.
Yeah, it's a cool video.
Was this? I think this was our designer Axel, right? That did this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great guy.
Shout out to Axel.
And to the whole video team, of course.
Mostly
Mainly
Axel.
Yeah.
Let's keep it to Axel. But it's really cool. And it's fun.
Fun fact, do you want to know something funny?
Sure. Tell me.
The first icon that just came up on the screen was designed by someone from my hometown.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't win though, did it?
No, it didn't win, but made it to the finals. So, I mean,
it's
very
good. That's a very cool video and a very cool vote. And since I kind of want to leave Joe in the dust, I'll piggyback off of you because it's actually this year, right? So I can't say the Juventus goal celebration song because technically that was last year. That was November.
Technically it was last year, but it was implemented this year, so maybe it still counts.
No, it doesn't
because
count.
it has so much in common with that vote because it also made a change on PES as well.
Yeah, true.
Because I actually I don't remember why. I think it was for a completely non-business related reason. But I was on the phone with some people from Konami, and they were kind of complaining. They're like, "Hey, that vote you guys did, we literally had to change the music license in the game because the team changed the goal celebration song, and that plays literally every time someone scores in the game," which I thought was awesome. That's like it's something that we kind of never anticipated in effect being from offering this kind of fan-led voting.
Yeah.
Nice. What's your dream poll for the future?
Yeah. I would like to kind of go off of what we saw from like Apollon, for example. Apollon did their little poll they did a big poll where they allowed the fans to choose the formation and a couple of the players, which is in my opinion huge and kind of what I see the end game for a lot of probably smaller clubs, albeit for them to ask their fans such questions on Socios. To me, that's the most exciting thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we even have the video here with handsome Andrea. He's going to love this.
I'm in that video, by the way. I'm
we
in
can
the
speak
background.
about Andrea, though. Handsome guy.
Yeah, fair. In fairness, my dream poll would be that same kind of stuff. And I know it's like it's very hard for it to happen, but votes that touch game integrity. Maybe not direct like game day integrity, but, vote on the manager.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Vote on team captains.
Yeah.
Vote on, hey, we're thinking of these 3 free agent players. Which one do we sign? Stuff that, I'm hoping that we stick around for 10, 20 plus years and we get to a point where that becomes a reasonable thing to want or expect, but obviously it's not happening.
I mean,
anytime soon. It could. And that's why, I always say I get more excited about very small teams that want to join us with the promise of, hey, we want to be fully fan led. I can't say, that's the big growth driver for me.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's a small team that also says like, no, we only want marketing votes, that makes less sense. But I hope that in the next, maybe even 2021, we'll find, grassroots partners that just say, hey, we want to.
That's a big market, by the way.
We realize that the best way for us to grow is to actually just hand off real control to our fans.
Yeah.
And to monetize that, as opposed to trying to monetize regional sponsorships or other old conventional ways of doing business in sports.
Yeah, I think for me, it would be awesome to vote like on a team jersey, like the kit they actually wear during the match.
Yeah,
it might not be feasible to do the first kit, the home kit, but maybe the third, even for a big club.
Kit? What's the third kit?
It's like there's a home kit, away kit, and then the third.
You hearing about
kit.
this, Joe? 3 kits.
There's even a fourth, Joe. There's even a fourth.
A fourth kit? Yeah. Okay, so they got the home kit, the away kit, the training kit.
Yeah.
Is that a kit?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that the third one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a genius.
No. The training kit it's what they use in training. The third they use during the matches.
It seems a little. It seems
Yeah,
a
seems
little
a bit
much.
excessive, huh?
All right. Let's move on. I think we have time
Yeah.
for one more question, then we'll quickly do the future,
The future.
and we'll let you guys go on to, I don't know, hopefully playing Cyberpunk. I know it's gotten a bad rap, but it's actually a really fun
doesn't
narrative-driven
glitch.
game. I don't care.
Yep.
I don't care. This is my one thing I wanted to say that has nothing to do with business.
Yeah. Sometimes I hope you
Cyberpunk
just fell through the
2077
floor.
is a great game. It has its problems, but guarantee you stay with it. Anyways, go ahead.
So let's take one last question from Ender. And he says, if there is no agreement with the locker room clubs, our return items will affect the Socios total limit. I'm not sure
Wait, can you?
what he's referring
It's a
to.
compliance question to do with KYC limits. He's wondering if his return Chiliz is going to affect his KYC limit.
No. I think I understand the question, meaning that if you put, let's say, 10,000 Chiliz in, and then the locker room doesn't convert, you get the 10,000 Chiliz as a refund. We don't count that refund as essentially another deposit or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as long as you were already KYC cleared to put the Chiliz in, if it comes back, it's not like it's going to count for double. I guess you could have a fringe situation where someone maxes out their KYC limit, puts all the money into locker rooms, and then somehow gets more money into the platform. But I don't see that happening because we still count the Chiliz in the locker rooms as part of your holdings.
Yeah.
It was good clearing that out. I
Yeah,
guess,
it's a good question.
Good
Mhm.
question. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
let's
it
move
from
on.
the Q&A.
Let's move on to the future. Thank you everyone for your questions. Lots
Thank
of nice
you.
questions.
No, thank you so much, guys.
Hopefully, in the future, we'll have lots more questions to answer on shows. Like
Well,
this.
in the future, I hope that this show actually finally gets to a state where we do it live, so we can do real-time
I
questions.
think we're ready. I mean, today was pretty epic. Yeah.
'Cause I want this show to follow the mantra of our platform. I want to have fan interaction in the show.
That's
That
true.
makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways,
Yeah.
that notwithstanding, I guess that's point one of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we got 3 talking points. Want a little bit more on Bitcoin.
Yep.
Let's talk about how the hype this time is different than the hype 2017.
Yes, the current hype of Bitcoin, as we've seen over the past, I'd say, couple of months, is lots of corporate treasuries and big institutional investors allocating, small percentages of their balance sheets. But small percentages of their balance sheets is, astronomical. It's in the billions or
it's huge.
hundreds of
And
millions.
the other thing to note, and by the way, and I know we do this disclaimer a lot on the show, none of this is investment advice. This is us just shooting the shit, essentially, about Bitcoin.
Yep.
These companies that are putting in money, it's like they don't tend to follow the same dynamics as, let's say, you and me, where we may see, oh, hey, this token or this asset is going up in value. I'm going to hop in for a few weeks, a few months, a few days, and then, really follow the market on a minute-by-minute basis and, pull out, make some quick cash. These are what tend to be longer-term hodls.
Yes, long-term hodls. As we've seen with the coronavirus pandemic, we've seen lots of cash injected into the economy through the Federal Reserve and also in Europe as well with quantitative easing. This is simply a hedge for inflation. The value of the dollar decreases, people's purchasing power goes down, and Bitcoin is kind of, I guess now we can call it a safe haven asset. And I never wanted to call it that, but it looks like it might be.
Yeah,
it might be. It actually might be.
Well, it might be. It's not for us to say it is or isn't. We're not going to offer an opinion on it. But it just in terms of what's going on in the public, what the discourse is, even outside of the show, that's what people are talking about, and that's why people are saying, well, this is much different than 2017 because that was a consumer-led run. This, in many ways, isn't.
No,
I could see it turning into one again.
Yeah, actually, Bitcoin trends on Google has really surged over the past week. Like it's increasing rapidly. Yeah, and I think lots of the kind of typical crypto geeks like me are kind of a bit confused right now because we don't really know what's next because of this is unprecedented.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll leave it at that because that's all in the future.
Yep.
Are you guys gonna do that every time?
There's no other way.
Do you not like the future?
The future.
There's no other way to say
Can I pitch in?
Yeah, and that's really it. I mean, we said, maybe some future ideas on the future of Binance and Socios. We kind of touched on that earlier. I don't want to get too
long-winded. And I actually
there.
wanted to do one thing, actually.
Oh, okay. What is that? What you got there, Joe?
Exchange the world. That's it. That was my bit. That's
Thank you. Thank you for that, Joe. We'll end. Our final point was just a question for me to Serena. The future of, let's say, Socios.com, I know we said for the year, but also, let's say, crypto as a whole, when it comes to sports, the teams you love, maybe even specifically just, if you want to talk about Juventus, I don't know.
What do you want to know, Max?
I don't know, your thoughts on where it'll go, Serena.
I mean...
You work at the confluence of sports and crypto.
Yeah, I know, I'm well aware.
But you can't be biased right now.
I can be biased.
Maybe you can.
No, you can't be biased. That's the good thing about the future, is it hasn't happened yet, so it's really just your opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like, what's happening here? The chair is falling apart. Sorry, guys.
That's a
Sorry, Richard's being mean in the microphone.
That's a terrible way to start answering a question.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where I'm going with this, actually. No, with Juventus, we've had a lot of questions about Juventus. We have a very active community on Twitter. So most of our questions were from Juve fans, actually. Someone even said, asking like Mercato questions, like football questions, who would you get as a player, which is something that goes back to what you said earlier. We could use our platform as an instrument, like to leverage fan opinion, like the club could use it. And imagine a poll that says, like, Juve goes out and says, would you like us to buy this player? Would you like us to buy X, Y, Z player? It would be awesome. Because there are some clear fan favorites and some clear, some players that are just not very well loved.
Fine. That's perfect.
Among fans. So that would be interesting for me as a fan if we went there in the future. And as for future partners, I have some dreams, but I don't know if I can share them. Can I?
You can share your dreams. Wait.
Because you said individuals as well.
Serena, before you share your dreams, I would like to make a disclaimer. Serena's dreams in no way represent the focus or future actions of Socios.com and or Chiliz. With that in mind, Serena, please, your dreams.
No, if we go into the music industry, that's my dream.
But you have specific. I mean,
that's it.
Can I name drop? Can I name drop?
As long as we're in the world of dreams, this is your personal dreams.
My dream is for
Adele?
us. Exactly, it's for us to have an Adele fan token, an ADL.
An ADL fan.
An ADL.
Wow, okay. But what would you like to... No, let's go deeper into it. Let's do a little theory crafting on the Adele fan token. Again, guys, this is all just, for fun. This is no way saying we'll actually do this. But
Adele, if you're watching us, can get in touch.
Wow.
You're in her dreams.
Okay, no, so let's theory craft an ADL fan token. How does it work? What are you doing with it?
So one thing I would like to vote on, for example, now, of course, it's difficult because of the whole pandemic, but imagine like a world tour, and the artist asks the fans to choose the playlist, like the set list of the tour. That would be awesome.
Did they choose the set list of the entire tour, or
like,
they choose
say city by city?
They choose city by city. So we
that's even better.
Because in the future we could also, create votes that are, let's say, regionally locked to fans. We'll say, hey guys, all fan token holders in Melbourne, you get to vote on. Exactly. Adele's set list. Oh, that would be very, very
That's cool. Yeah.
Anything else? Like, what would the rewards structure look like? Obviously, just tickets and stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess, or signed merchandise even. The same thing we're doing with football clubs.
If Adele could sign one thing for you, what would it be?
Need to be PG, right? I guess my 21 album.
Okay.
I've had it for 9 years, so it's pretty worn out.
Do you keep it like pristine?
Yes, I mean, it's pretty worn out, but it's like in a little Adele shrine I have in my bedroom.
Cute.
No, I think that's awesome. That's a great way to end the future segment. Yep. All right, guys, I think that's it for us for the show. The one question I will have for the viewers is that, as always, I think we're most likely going to put this on YouTube, but wherever you're watching this, if it has a comment section, just write in, tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, questions you have, things you'd like to see, things we haven't covered. Tell us if you hate the jokes. Tell us if you hate the pacing of the show. Essentially, we want all the feedback in the world, because show over show, we want to get better and better, and we want to make sure that this is part of the 2021 roadmap. Is we do this once every 2 weeks, once every week, and you guys actually have a place to tune in to really, get your weekly or bi-weekly dose of Chiliz and Socios content. I feel like we're listening to you.
Yeah. I echo that. Don't forget to thumbs up or thumbs down. Please don't thumbs down. and subscribe.
Why even,
Don't
give,
forget to
why even
subscribe.
give them the option? All right.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, from us.
I'm
Thanks
Max.
for watching.
Thank you so much. That's Joe.
I'm
That's
Joe.
Lorena. Tell
Bye,
them your
guys.
names.
Happy holidays.
Okay. See you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye.